Here are all the books of the Old Testament in order. Old Testament Genesis, the first book of Moses, the first book of the Bible, which means beginning. It's where we get the word Genesis from. It tells the story of creation, the fall of man, the flood, the Tower of Babel, and ends with the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then Exodus, the second book of Moses, which means departure or deliverance. It tells the story of the Exodus, hence the name, when God delivered Israel out of slavery in Egypt through Moses. The third book is Leviticus, which gives instructions about how to live a holy life, including instructions about sacrifices and offerings, and the law of clean and unclean, to Numbers. The fourth book gets its name because it was during the wilderness wanderings when a census was taken of the people of Israel. The fifth book is Deuteronomy, which means a second law. It's where we get the Ten Commandments from, as well as the book of the law that Moses wrote. The sixth book is Joshua, which tells the story of how Joshua led Israel into the Promised Land and defeated their enemies. The seventh book is Judges, which tells the stories of the judges who delivered Israel during the period of the conquest and settlement of Canaan. The eighth book is Ruth, a beautiful love story about a woman named Ruth who chose to follow the God of Israel. The ninth book is 1 Samuel, the first book of Samuel, which tells the story of Israel's transition from a theocracy under the judges to a monarchy with Saul as the first king. The 10th book is 2 Samuel, which tells the story of David, from his defeat of Goliath to becoming king over all of Israel. The 11th book is 1 Kings, which tells the history of the divided kingdom of Israel, from the building of the temple to the death of King Solomon. The 12th book is 2 Kings, which continues the history of the kingdoms of Israel and Judah, ending with the Babylonian exile. The 13th book is 1 Chronicles, which gives a genealogical record of the people of Israel, as well as the history of David and Solomon. The 14th book is 2 Chronicles, which continues the history of Israel and Judah, emphasizing the kings and the temple. The 15th book is Ezra, which tells the story of the return of the Jewish people from exile in Babylon and the rebuilding of the temple. The 16th book is Nehemiah, which tells the story of Nehemiah and how he rebuilt the city walls of Jerusalem. The 17th book is Tobit, which tells the story of Tobit, a man who was falsely accused, and how he and his son Tobias were miraculously delivered. The 18th book is Judith, which tells the story of how Judith, a strong and courageous widow, saved her people from the clutches of the Assyrians. The 19th book is 1 Maccabees, which tells the story of the Maccabean revolt against the Syrian Greek Empire. The 20th book is 2 Maccabees, which continues the history of the Maccabees and the early years of the Hasmonean dynasty. The 21st book is Job, a poetic book about a man who suffered greatly, but whose faith in God remained steadfast. The 22nd book is Psalms, a collection of 150 songs that were used for worship in the temple. The 23rd book is Proverbs, a collection of wise sayings about life and how to live it. The 24th book is Ecclesiastes, a book about the meaning of life, written by King Solomon. The 25th book is the Song of Songs, a beautiful love poem about the relationship between a man and his beloved. The 26th book is Wisdom, a poetic book that teaches about the fear of the Lord and how to live a wise life. The 27th book is Sirach, another book of wisdom that teaches about various aspects of life and how to live it according to God's will. The 28th book is Isaiah, the first of the major prophets, which contains 66 chapters. The 29th book is Jeremiah, another major prophet, which contains 52 chapters. The 30th book is Lamentations, a book of poetry that laments the destruction of Jerusalem. The 31st book is Baruch, a book that is closely connected to Jeremiah and contains a prayer for the restoration of Jerusalem. The 32nd book is Ezekiel, one of the major prophets, which contains 48 chapters. The 33rd book is Daniel, another major prophet, which contains 12 chapters. The 34th book is Hosea, one of the minor prophets, which contains 14 chapters. The 35th book is Joel, one of the minor prophets, which contains 3 chapters. The 36th book is Amos, one of the minor prophets, which contains 9 chapters. The 37th book is Obadiah, the shortest book in the Old Testament, which contains 21 chapters. The 38th book is Jonah, which tells the story of Jonah and the miraculous deliverance of Nineveh. The 39th book is Micah, one of the minor prophets, which contains 7 chapters. The 40th book is Nahum, one of the minor prophets, which contains 3 chapters. The 41st book is Habakkuk, one of the minor prophets, which contains 3 chapters. The 42nd book is Zephaniah, one of the minor prophets, which contains 3 chapters. The 43rd book is Haggai, one of the minor prophets, which contains 2 chapters. The 44th book is Zechariah, which contains 14 chapters. The 45th and final book of the Old Testament is Malachi, which contains 4 chapters.